sunny San Diego Saturday, and I just wanted to reach out to all my Facebook friends. And I apologize, guys, if you happen to notice that I'm looking over here to my right, or maybe your left, if you happen to notice that people are coming through, it's because I'm doing an open house right now, and we just had a really busy turnout, and usually it's a calm before the next storm, so I thought I'd get a quick Facebook Live video in. So I'm gonna, as we're waiting for people to get on, I'm gonna explain why I decided to do this informative Facebook Live. Over the past couple days, I've had a very similar question come up. Jesse, what is an earnest money deposit? Okay. At the open house today, we had multiple people bring it up, and I was shocked. Some buyers that have been coming in, who have been looking at homes for weeks, if not months, had no idea what an earnest money deposit is. Now, when you're working with us, we always do a first-time buyer or just a buyer consult in general to go over all of this stuff, but not everybody has a real estate agent team that they work with that does that. We always like to educate and empower our clients. It's good to know the good and the bad of every transaction. So an earnest money deposit is money. I think that's very important to review. So as I see you guys are getting on, what's up everybody? A earnest money deposit is a good faith deposit that we are giving to the seller to show that we were serious about buying the home. We're putting some skin in the game. That can be anywhere from 1% to 3% of the purchase price. Okay, and that could be anywhere in between as well. And I've even seen some transactions where it's very little, less than 1%. But 3% is always good, especially in a competitive market like this. Okay, now the risk involved with an earnest money deposit. Okay, this is very important. Now, in a perfect world, that earnest money deposit, when we close escrow, right, and I'm handing you guys your keys, that earnest money deposit, 1% to 3%, is going towards the purchase price of your home, towards the down payment really, and or closing costs. So you're just coming in with that much less. It's not an additional fee or cost on top of. Now, here's the other side of the coin. If for whatever reason you breach your contract, you're working with an agent that just doesn't know the intricacies of negotiation and contract law and how to properly get a buyer through escrow smoothly, right? Then you can be at risk to have that earnest money deposit taken from the seller. And I'll tell you what I tell all of my clients. Expect it to happen if you breach that contract. Now, the state of California gives you guys 17 days to kick the tires on your car, to make sure that this is something that you actually want. It's your contingency period. To get the home in good shape, to make sure that it's a home that you actually want, to make sure that the appraisal, the value, the collateral for the bank is sufficient, and lastly, to make sure that your loan, right, is good, that you can actually qualify for the loan and close. If you're able to do all of that within 17 days, you're good, you're fine. But if you happen not to be able to, and you exceed the 17 days, and your contingencies have been given up, then you will now be breaching your contract if you have to back out. And again, the seller can and likely will take that money. Now, knock on wood, I've never had that happen to my client, and I don't expect that to happen. Whether that's my experience, maybe just the respect for contract law in general, maybe it's the law school background that I have, whatever it may be, I don't expect it to happen to any of my clients. It's a very, very serious thing, and it's one of the reasons why I'm doing this video, so that it doesn't happen to you. So the question though, guys, I generally get after that is, what are contingencies? What do you mean? I don't get what these contingencies are. Guys, think of contingencies as get out of jail free cards. There's several of them. The state of California gives you 17 days to play these cards, to be able to back out of the transaction, okay? Now, there's one for your termite inspection, there's one for your loan, there's one for your inspection, there's one for your appraisal, there's a few of them. Each of these are independent and separate from each other, and most of them have 17 days, the loan having 21, or whatever you decide to negotiate. So as a seller, they of course don't want you to have these outs, these back outs, and they don't want you to have them for 17 days. So on the buying side, as long as you are comfortable, right, with everything that you have that you've done within those 17 and or 21 days, you give up those contingencies, okay? You say, I'm ready to proceed forward because now I'm happy with the home and I'm ready to close. I'm ready to get those keys. But if you don't, if something comes up, your loan, your appraisal, you don't like something about the home itself, you're able to cash in one of those get out of jail free cards and or contingencies and to be able to be made whole, and that earnest money deposit will come back to you. Okay, so again, it's important to know who you work with, right? Who you work with matters very, very much so, especially when we're talking about money. The other question I generally get, guys, is, well, who holds on to this earnest money deposit? It's escrow. Who's escrow, Jesse? Well, I'll explain. A little analogy I use. Escrow is an independent third party. It's government mandated. Every real estate transaction has to have it. So escrow, think of escrow, and this is going to date me, the analogy I use. There was a movie sometime back with Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes called White Men Can't Jump. And we won't get too much into the movie, but what it is there's two guys that don't know each other that are really good at playing basketball, and they're on Venice Beach, and they challenge each other to a game, and they put some money behind it, right? And let's say that's me, right? I come in and I say, I can beat you at a game of basketball, and I'll bet you $100 I can. And the other guy says, okay. And so I say, all right, well, let me hold your 100 with mine, and if I win or you win, I'll give you the money, whoever wins. And the other guy says, no way, I'm not giving you the money. I don't know you. I don't trust you. He says, give me the money. And I say, well, I don't trust you either. So we look around, and we happen to find somebody over there that's just standing by, that doesn't know me and doesn't know him. We go to him and we ask him, hey, buddy, can you do me a favor? Here's the rules of the game, right? You hold our money, and as long as we follow those rules, right, the winner gets that money. If we decide to change the rules throughout the transaction, right, or throughout the game, both of us have to agree to those rules in order for those rules to be changed. And let's say if we get to 7 points and we decide to quit before 7, you give us some money back, and everybody's made whole again, and we both go our own separate ways. If we don't finish the game, but we pass 7 points, whoever's in the lead gets to take that money. That's very similar to escrow. That gentleman is the escrow holder. He's there just to follow instructions. He's there to follow what we have decided at the outset of the game and hand over the money to the winner or whatever we have decided. Good or great example of what escrow is. So guys, it is important to know when you're dealing with money, when you're dealing with an earnest money deposit that is 1 to 3% of your purchase price, that you know where that money is going, that you know how to protect it, and ultimately you know how to get to a smooth transaction without having it at risk. So I hope this was helpful. I hope this was informative. I can hear some footsteps coming over here. We have another guest at the open house. So I just wanted to thank you guys for your time. Hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully this was informative. And hopefully this helped educate you. If you have any questions about buying or selling a home, I'd love to be a resource for you to be able to help you, get you through that. And ultimately at the end of the day, like I mentioned, educate and empower you in your real estate transaction. Thanks guys. Jesse Salas, Harcourt's Real Estate. As always, it was great talking to you.